ఫ్రాంక్ గా చెప్పాలంటే నీతో సినిమా చేస్తున్నప్పుడు నా దగ్గర కథ లేదు.
Today we are going to break down the Pushpa 2 review of the Hollywood reporters Anupama Chopra's. By the way, I have immense admiration for Anupama Chopra's ma'am, the founder of Film Companion, and I really appreciate the way she approaches film criticism. Recently I watched the review of Pushpa 2. It was quite insightful and I respect their perspective. However, I found myself agreeing with some points while also having a few disagreements. I believe films like this evoke different interpretations and it's always interesting to see how opinions are different. I will get into the topic now. They said,
నా దగ్గర కథ లేదు.
God, please, no!
they said how much Pushpa is too much Pushpa, and honestly I completely agree with that line. The film has a massive runtime, nearly 3 hours and 20 minutes, which is quite long for a commercial entertainer. While some audience may enjoy the extended storytelling and the larger than life moments, I personally know some people who watched it and even they felt that certain portions dragged a bit. It makes me wonder if a slightly tighter edit could have made the experience even more engaging. And the next point they mentioned was that Fahadh's character is dazzling and delivers highlight sequences one after another. I personally disagree with this. If we compare to the ending of Pushpa Part 1, his character was hyped so much with intense looks and a mad, unpredictable characterization. It built great anticipation for his role in the sequel. But here, the writing feels too thin. I didn't felt his presence or the impact I was expecting. And the next point they mentioned was that the cat and mouse game between Allu Arjun and Fahadh feels repetitive. But honestly, I don't think it's repetitive at all. In fact, it grabs our attention and keeps us intrigued. The real issue, in my opinion, is the way it presented and how Fahadh character Shekhawat was handled. Until the first and second acts, the writing did a good job of maintaining his grip and the story. But from the third act onward, it started to feel slightly underwhelming, almost like his characterization, which was built up so well earlier, felt a bit oppressed and diluted in the climax. The next point they mentioned was that the laws of physics don't apply to these films like this. They pointed out the scene where Allu Arjun's hand legs are tied, yet he still fights with immense rage, almost as if powered by some divine force, completely crossing the border of realism. I somewhat agree with this, but not entirely. This kind of statement does not apply more to the films that are designed to be stylish and exaggerated. It's not really an issue in this genre because the film itself establishes a larger than life tone. If the same kind of action choreography were used in a film like Satya, it would not work because that's different kind of cinema. At the end of the day, Pushpa 2 is a film with a fiction and imaginative world meant for a specific audience, and it plays by its own rules. And finally, they mentioned that the film feels exhausted, and I have to agree with this one. I know many people personally who watched it and they felt the same way. And my final thoughts on this film is, a film should feel like a genuine and true to itself, reflecting the original instinct and vision of its maker. However, I struggle to find the soul in Pushpa 2. I acknowledge that there is no fixed pattern for making a film,
నా దగ్గర కథ లేదు.
and filmmakers have creative freedom to shape their narrative as they can. But whatever approach they choose to build the world of Pushpa, they ultimately failed to deliver the promise they made on Part 1. Instead of anchoring the Part 1 ending, they gave us something that just didn't hold our attention the way it should have. That's it for today. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe.